Hello everyone, very happy belated Bloomsday to you all. Bloomsday, as we know, is the longest day in literature, June 16th, 1904, wherein the novel Ulysses, James Joyce describes the plight of two spiritually hungry men over the course of one long day. That book is significant because that's where I get the name of this channel. And it's also the day that I started this channel 2 years ago. So happy 2 years to all of my thousands of subscribers. Well, not thousands of you, there's about 54 last I checked. But I've made a couple hundred videos now, which I'm pretty proud of. I think that's pretty cool. And it's embarrassing a little bit because I look at other YouTubers and how quickly their channels grow and everything. And I see myself as very, very much in the junior leagues. But again, as I've talked about it before, that's not really the purpose. I'm not here to conquer anything or do anything or really do anything besides just express myself. Again, to quote Joyce, not from Ulysses, but from Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, using the only three defenses I allow myself to use, that is silence, cunning, and exile. And so these three defenses have served me well throughout my adult life. And this being my second year on Jinkajabo and my third year in Vietnam, I have definitely used this exile one. But, you know, I still have my cunning and I still use silence and I still look for silence. And silence is very significant because there is a Quaker character in Ulysses based on the Quaker librarian Lister. And I've actually been to that library and seen his office. But anyway, what Quakers do, and I'll say we, I've made videos about Quakerism before, long ago. We sit in silence for an hour. And I've been doing that, and I've been trying to do it at a regular time, especially now that I have more time to myself as a teacher. But the other thing I want to do is I want to get that started out here in Hanoi. So any of you watching or listening in my neck of the woods, I hope that you join me sometime. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to schedule a time when we'll all just meet, or I'll just go to the park by myself, and I'll just invite people to join me in an hour of silence, rather than going to some church or something. There are churches here, but I've never been too impressed with them. And I mean the Catholic and the Protestant. The Falun Dafa, whom I've reached out to, and yet they haven't gotten back to me. I'm not sure if any of them speak English, or if there are any Westerners in the group. I haven't found any, and I've looked a little bit. Anyway, I didn't make a video on Bloomsday because like Hillary Clinton on election night, I was quite drunk. And I decided that's how I was going to spend my Bloomsday, as kind of a drunken bash. And I don't mean simply in the dreary sense that I was sitting around by myself drinking or anything. No, I have a friend who just came back from America after being away from here for a year. And actually I met him a year ago as part of a very small and close and together group of people out here in Vietnam. And we only meet every few months, but we talk online all the time. And so we just got nice and hammered together, and you know, it sucks meeting another Bloomsday single, but then I think, you know, I didn't come home to anyone nagging or screaming or worrying about me being too drunk. And I was on my bicycle and I pushed it, so I was nice. And as soon as I got back, I didn't have to talk to anyone or do anything, but I could spend a quiet Bloomsday with a bottle of Tao Mao, which is a very cheap and hard and actually tasty local liquor out here. So I had a little bit of a party, and that was how I cured my hangover. And then I got back to practicing music again. I'm singing, and hopefully I will be doing performing with a rock band this summer. That's my goal. So there's a lot going on in my world, and I wake up every day, especially around summertime, just feeling very happy to be alive. and just looking forward to what I can get into and who's around and what I'll be doing. And I've been keeping more people in my life. Tonight is an unusual night in the sense that I'm alone and I'm not talking to anyone. And that's sort of why I turned the camera on, really, because I thought, well, this response has been much too belated. And after all, it's my 2-year anniversary. And so anyway, just like my friends out here in Vietnam, especially in Hanoi, I think of even just a few subscribers. And it didn't seem like long ago that I was saying there are only 10 of you, now there's like 50 of you. Who knows, but like it's such a small group now that I imagine we're all sitting in the same room together, hanging out together. And as part of that meeting, one of my friends said that he was really touched by a video that I had made 1 year ago, I think. I can't even remember when. It was quite a long time ago, where I was talking, yeah, it must have been exactly a year and I would say 4 or 5 months. Because that's when I reopened a letter that I had written to myself 10 years prior when I was going through a very hard time. And I was very sick and very depressed. And reading that was a very emotional experience. And I had pictured ahead 10 years, the whole time, the whole decade that went by, I was thinking ahead 10 years into the future and thinking, where will I be? What will my life look like when I open the letter again? And my life had certainly taken a very exotic and strange and wonderful and yet in some ways just nebulous kind of amorphous course. It wasn't the path that I had seen others take, and it wasn't the path that I had imagined for myself, but I guess I hadn't really pictured anything. But my friend was talking about this letter and how it helped him get over black dog syndrome, which is what he called it. And I had not heard that term, but I looked it up, and I guess it comes from Winston Churchill, and that's the term he used to describe depression. It's just black dog syndrome. And when you hear about others going through it and getting over it, that helps you more than any amount of therapy, any amount of prayer can, I think. And to see his case and to see the case of a veteran friend who had gone through similar things, post-traumatic stress, it just made me think, yeah, man, it's absolutely crucial that we are open about these things and that we talk about the black dog syndrome. And, you know, I faced the black dog syndrome too, I won't lie to you. And I'll get personal here, you know, I thought I was going to be married this year and that didn't work out. And that really threw me for a funk, but enough time has passed now. It's like I don't even worry about it much. I don't think about it that often. And a lot of that had to do with just loss of personal responsibility and being uncertain about my career and just not totally integrating to Vietnam. There's always this underlying fear that I haven't totally integrated here. But you know, that happened, and then my first bicycle got stolen and I lost my job. And so it was just a lot of stuff all at once. But like I said in my last videos, it's like Hakuna Matata, it's like Wu Wei. It's given myself that hour as often as I can, and I can't disclose exactly how often I take that hour, but I do take it often. The more often I take it, the stronger I get. And so I just wanted to say that sometimes everyone just needs to shut up. You just need to turn everything off, and that's my advice for getting through it. The other thing is, what's so bad about feeling pain sometimes? What's so bad about feeling down? You know, that's what Bloomsday is about. That's the longest day. It's, you know, the child caught in the bellows. It's those of us getting hurt. It's actually being honest and seeing that in ourselves and knowing that we are capable of that pain and fully expressing that and feeling that and just trying to find creative and useful ways to channel that agony, to beat the black dog. Because just like in his story and in his story and these other stories and other friends online who've been very open about it lately, which I find touching, another friend of mine, just talking about depression openly, I think is a good thing. And you should know, anyone who watches this should know that I've been through some shit, and I know how hard it can hurt sometimes. But you just have to keep going, and part of that is just finding that sense of wanting to wake up every morning and looking around and just seeing the world as a blank canvas because I'm not sure where I'm going next or what I'm going to do next. But I'm not worried because I have silence and cunning and exile on my side, and I will continue to use these as my only good and true and perfect and reliable defenses. I will keep saying it, man. Hakuna Matata, Wu Wei, Dao Ke Dao, Fei Chan Dao. The way that can be told is not the eternal way. Happy belated Bloomsday. Thank you for listening as always, and thank you for being here. And if you haven't, please click subscribe. Over and out.